Hey, today I'll be trying to replace Mazda 3 2016 clutch sport manual. So all I did so far was pretty easy. Took the battery off, the airbox off. It's pretty simple, a couple of screws holding it. This is the battery that was sitting right here. Has 3 screws, and then obviously the cables. Take it off. Where's the other one? Right here. And then that's all I did so far. The box, you disconnect it from here. It had like a tensioner. It goes like that. You 10 millimeter. You take it off. It comes pretty easy. Comes out like that, and then the whole thing just pops out just like that. I didn't mess with it. And here it is. Transmission is right there. We're gonna have to take all the connectors out. So it's quite a bit of a job, but we'll see. But it's so far it's going pretty easy. Nothing crazy. This thing was like that. The battery sat right here. So you disconnect the ECU. There's a bracket that you have to take off. This one was like that, covering the ECU connectors. So you're gonna take that out, and then you guys see the ECU connectors. It has like a thing that you have to do just like that, and it's gonna pop out. There's one right here, and there's one right down there. Right down there was coming from that side. So you're gonna just have this wire. You wouldn't be able to take that thing off unless you disconnect. You gotta take this thing out. This clip, it was like right down there. It was like that. So you gotta take that out. And then this was in the fuse box. So you just open the fuse box. That's like right down there. This white one that you see right there. You just take it out, and you will be able to switch this thing to the side. So you wouldn't need to disconnect all the wires that goes in here and in here, all that. So far, also there is a bracket that's holding the shifter cables. This was like that. It's got 3 screws, 1 and 2 and 3. One right there. It was just sitting on top of the transmission. It's pretty easy. Just put the impact in there, unbolt all 3 screws, and then this has a clip. This was like that, set on this tower right here. It was like that. Then you just gotta undo that clip. Once you undo that clip, it comes out pretty easily. Same as that one. 2 shifter cables. And then you take it like that, put it to the side. You have more clearance. That's the transmission. Next, you're gonna wanna disconnect all the connectors that's attached to the transmission. You got one bracket was sitting down there. Okay, it's got 2 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those two for one bracket. Those 2 for another bracket. I'll show you. This is one down here, and another one down there. This one, 1, 2. So if you just unscrew the bolts that goes in here and you just take it out, it comes with the wires. Some of them you'll have to get it out of this hole right here, so you can actually like have access to the bolts down there. But the idea, you get the idea. It's like you just want to free up the transmission from all the wires, so when you drop it from down there, nothing's gonna get broken. Alright, so there's that. And then you're gonna take your tires off, lift the car, and what I'm trying to do right now is take the axles off. Take the axles out. So you're gonna do the axle nut. The axle nut was pretty seized up. It was pretty bad. And And then you take those two bolts, big bolts for the strut right here. Those goes one from here and one from here. This is I think it's a 19 and a 17. This one of them is this is a 17, this is a 19, I think. Once you take that out, you'll be able to free the knuckle down there. So this axle was coming from that hole, so you just push on it and it should come out easy. And then you're gonna pry it out from the transmission from down there. I'm about to show you. I'm gonna show you the other side. So same thing here, 2 bolts right here, axle nut. You push the axle out. So this axle is a little different than the other one. This one is longer, and to take it out, you're gonna have to unscrew a bracket that's holding it. Here's the view from down there. If you want to take a look at the subframe, because unfortunately you're gonna have to take it out. The subframe has to be dropped down, so you can actually get the transmission from down there. So this is the transmission right here. This is the separator plate right here. So this is the difference between the engine and the transmission. This is the transmission up until there. So the subframe is gonna be blocking you from dropping it. There's not much clearance. So yeah, the subframe you're gonna need to, it's actually not that hard. You got 1 bolt right here for the subframe, and if you keep going with it, you got 1 right there, this one for the control arm, and 1 back here, and another on the other side. It's the same thing. You got 1 over there right here, 1 right there, and 1 right here. So like 4 on each side, I think. But you're gonna have to take this clips out to take the heat shield down. It's pretty easy. The only thing right now is what I'm trying to figure out is if I'm gonna have to take out the rack and pinion connection right there. I don't know. I think I should have to disconnect this from the steering wheel, so I can, because this is gonna come down with the subframe. So yeah, keep you updated. Okay guys, I just got this bracket from the CV axle. It was right there. You see this? It was right here. This is the bolts for it. 1 down here and 1 up there. Bracket. It's right there. Once you take that off, this thing is just gonna pull so easy. It doesn't have a C-clip, so it shouldn't. It should be very easy. You just pull it out, but just make sure you drain the transmission first, because I didn't drain my transmission yet, and I accidentally pulled it, the CV axle, and it dropped some fluid on in the driveway. So you just make sure you drain the fluid first and then take it off. Also, from up there was a bracket. It goes right here with the transmission, from right there to right here. 2 of them. Just a bunch of bolts. One was like that. You have to get it from underneath. If you go down there under the car, you'll be able to reach those 2 bolts from there, from the back. This one you can get from here, and there was 2 other ones that was just right here, just those 2. It's like 3 in a row. 1 right here, and then 1 right here, 1 then 1 and then 1, and then the other, and those 2 bolts from the back. You get it from under the car. You're gonna be left with just 1. That one here. Total of 6 bolts. Very easy. You take that out, and then what's left now is take this port out, the clutch cylinder, whatever it's called, and then take the subframe down there from under the car, so we'll have to take the tie rods off. This one, I'm not sure yet if you have to, I'm not sure yet about the rack and pinion. Next step will be to take off the control arm. Very simple. So actually I was firstly trying to take off the ball joint, the control arm out from the knuckle, but this right here I couldn't free that up. I don't have the tool, so I just took the control arm down and I switched it to the side. So it has 3 screws. One goes right here, and then this right there was like that right here. One goes up here and one goes up here. Take all those 3 bolts out. It should be very simple. You just pull it and it's gonna come right out. And same on the other side. Same thing on the other side. So after you take the control arm out, there's 2 clips that goes one right here and one right there. You gotta take that out because it's attached to the subframe. Same on the other side. 2 clips. And next step would be, there is a very small bracket that's attached to the subframe. This one right here, this one, it has 3 bolts, one right there and one up there and one on the other side up here. Just take those 3 bolts out. It's gonna look like that, and then there's one screw holding it up, so take that out. Out, and this should be free. So you can just place it right there. Now we have our subframe clear from the front side. Now we have 1 bolt here left to do. One on the other side, I still gotta do this bracket, same like the other one back there. And then you got one over there. That one, the white one, and then this one up there, and same on the other side. That one, and that one up there. Once you take those out, you should be good to go. Also, the rack and pinion, it's gonna be attached to the subframe, so it's this one down there. What I did is I got it from down here. I took this plastic clip out and then I freed that one from the rack and pinion over there. And you have to mark it. You have to mark it with a marker. Make 2 marks so that when you put it back, you know, because sometimes if you accidentally like turn the steering wheel, the alignment is not gonna be the same. So you put 2 marks on that shaft right there and 2 marks here, so that when you put it back, you align it with the other 2 marks and you're good to go. Okay, I'm about to take the bracket out and then do the subframe bolts, and should be good to go. Should be good to do. Come down. I'm gonna put the jack underneath it with a piece of wood and see if I can pull it down like that. Okay, so one more thing is you're gonna need to take the engine mount off. This is the engine mount, goes like that. One second. Goes like that. So it has 3 screws, 1, 2, 3, and the screw that hold it to the chassis. take all those three out. It's right there, and it's gonna come right out. And right now I think the subframe is good to go. It's already moving. I took that bolt out, that one up there, and this one, and those three are the same on the other side. So once you take that out, it should be good to go. I wanna put my jack stand right here and raise it until it touches right here, and then I'm gonna take all of them out. I didn't take it completely out, I just freed it so that if it fell, it's gonna be still secured. So now we can go ahead and take all of them out and rest it on the jack stand, lower it. That's pretty much it. And just like that, guys, I put the jack stand in the middle of it, and then I lowered it very slowly. I forgot to undo this exhaust holder. You have to undo the exhaust holder because it's coming up from here. See that black thing? It was attached to the exhaust holder, so you have to do that as well. And then once you do that, that's it. You're done. Subframe is out. Transmission is right there, ready to be lowered as well. That's about it. Okay, so the starter is out. The starter was like that. It's got one bolt right there, and the other bolt you have to get it from the top. You go above the hood and you're gonna be able to see it just like right on the other side, but on the top. You're gonna need an extension for that too. Once you get it out, it's gonna slide right out like that, and then you can just put it aside, or maybe you can zip tie it to something. Oh my god. Okay, like that way you have to zip tie it to something. Maybe you can put a zip tie on this hole and hang it in one of these things. So next you want to take that, I think this is the clutch slave cylinder, I'm not sure, but it has two screws. One is right here and one is on top. Take that screw off and it should come right out. Okay, it's here, so this should come out. Also, you're gonna wanna take that thing off. Oh, there you go. Here it is. Let's put that somewhere. I think the transmission is ready to calm down now. We took everything that's attached to it. Maybe now we should just take the bolts that's holding it into the engine, and that'll be it. It's gonna come right down. Okay, gonna now start taking the bolts that's holding the transmission in the engine. I think it's 8 or 9. Got one right here and one right there, one right there, and one right there, hiding behind that bracket right there. And from the bottom we have let's see, so up there is like 3 or 4, so let's say like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, this is the engine mounts bolts, that's not it. It was one right here, one right here, one right here, and from the back there is 2 more. All right, here we are, fucking finally. Just took the transmission out. So it turned out once you took all the bolts along the corner between the transmission and the engine, and then I actually tried to put like a lift underneath the transmission, and like but it's not a good idea if you don't have an actual transmission jack. it's I don't recommend doing it because it's gonna wobble. It's gonna wobble to all the sides. You want to be able to control it. So I just landed it on my chest. Also wouldn't recommend that, but I had to because I don't have a transmission jack. So here it is. And actually the engine mount, let me show you from up there. I'm actually freaking stuck in here. Okay. The engine mount was like this. It's just like that. You wouldn't be able to get the transmission out without it because it's gonna be on the way. You need to like keep wobbling it back and forth. I slept underneath it and I just kept wobbling it back and forth. It's not that heavy. I would say it's about like 120 pounds. And you just kind of landed it. You kind of land it on yourself and try to like direct it towards the floor. And yeah. Yep. About to change that clutch right now and see what's up. Okay, so the clutch is out. The clutch have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts. Very easy. It's right there. Those 6 bolts. Take them out. It's gonna come right out. And as you can see, my friction disc is super fucked. This is from overheating, I think. It changes colors and the material is just so bad. It's really been worked out. You can see here. So I had a problem. It was slipping a lot, and like right before I started that job, it was like super slippery. Like it almost just went completely out. You can see here these spots. It's kind of shiny. It's from where it was making contact with the flywheel. I actually want to take a look at the new one and compare them. Okay, so here's the new one. New friction pad. As you can see, it's beautiful. It's new, like you see here. See the thickness difference. There's a thickness difference. And also I think this had like things like that to make the friction. This is so like it doesn't slip. Actually, I shouldn't be touching it with my glove. This one is just super slippery. And this is the new one. That's the old one. That's the no throw out bearing. Let me show you my old one. Old one is super bad. Makes noise, and it's just like wobbly and just trash. I think this is from the factory. Also, by the way, if you're gonna do that job by yourself, do not buy a cheap clutch. Just buy something good. This is gonna last you for like maybe like 70 to 100,000 miles. You wouldn't need to do it again. But do not buy cheap stuff. Do not buy $100 clutch or whatever. Buy a brand. Buy like a Duralast or like whatever brand. But just do not buy cheap stuff, especially on that parts. Those parts are essential. You don't want to do that. Okay, guys. So I installed the clutch and the pad, and the transmission is back in. So how I got it back in is actually pretty. I wouldn't recommend it, to be honest, but I'll just tell you what I did anyway. If you don't have a transmission jack, I put a rope. So I put this rope this rope, I put it right there on one of these screws. You see these holes right here? I put it like a double, 1 2 1 2, and then I put it right there in the screw, and then I put that bolt on top of the rope, and I had one of my friends sit over here over the hood and hold it like this while I was down there pushing it. I was sleeping on the floor and I was just pushing it upwards and trying to align the shaft that's coming out of the transmission to align it with the hole in the clutch, and it got in. And once it get in, you should just put the bolts, the bolts that hold the transmission in the engine, just put a 1 or 2 just so you can guarantee that it's not gonna fall back. And then once you do that, you put all of them and tighten it to spec with a torque wrench. And what else? And then you just put that's what I did, put a jack with a piece of metal there so it can come up to the transmission, and I kept lifting it until you align it with the mount. And then you put the mount first, and then you tighten this bolt and those 3 ones. Once that's in, and that's the transmission is back in place, and it's being held by the mount, so that's good. Right now we're going to reinstall the starter. The starter right here, I had it with a zip tie in this hose right here, and then we need to put that one as well. Where is it? The clutch cylinder. We're gonna put it right here. It goes like this, and yep. And then we're gonna have to put the subframe back up, so I'll keep you updated. Okay, starter back in place. 1 bolt here, the other bolt you have to do it from the top, and this is the clutch cylinder. Like I showed you before, it was like hanging right there, and I got it and put it right here, and it has 2 screws. Very simple. 1 2, those 2 screws. I put this back like it was taken off. You just press it back right here, and the other starter screw from up there, let me show you. It's right there. See that rusted bolt right there? This one in there. Next, you want to put the bracket on the back of the transmission. Connects to the exhaust, a piece of the exhaust connects it like that. It's 2 brackets, one right there and one on the back of it. There's another one, just that one goes like that, and that one goes right on it. Very easy. Okay, so it's time to put the subframe back in the car. So what you're gonna do is you get your jack, and you're gonna put the rack, the very center of the rack. You have to center it exactly over your jack, so that way when you pump it up, it's not gonna go like that, it's gonna go straight. Okay, so just make sure it's aligned with all the holes. So for example, this one goes right there, so you have to make it just by your eye that it's aligned with it. And this hole goes right there, so this just needs to go a little to the back like that. Once those 2 in the front are aligned with their holes, the back ones also should be aligned. Also be very careful when you're raising it not to hit the pinion right there. Just you have to align it exactly so that it will come out from that hole right there. Okay, subframe is in. What I did is I put the jack right here, and you just keep lifting it and maneuver it with your hands. It has to align also. It's very important. But I tell you, there's like a plastic cone sitting on top of the subframe. It has to be aligned. If it's not aligned, it's not gonna go all the way in. So you gotta make sure that above this hole right here, there's like a cone. This cone has to go in the hole that belongs to it, and that's it. And then you gotta reconnect the exhaust holder, this one. Yep, there it goes, nice and tight. that's it, guys. Almost done. Next it's gonna be, I'll keep you updated. Okay, it's time to put the engine mount back in. This is the engine mount. Sitting. You're gonna take that screw out and you put it like that. It goes from the top and it sits on a thing like that, and then you get the screw, put it up here, tighten the screw. And now you're gonna have to put the 3 bolts back in the engine mount. This is that. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Also, by the way, I want to show you guys the fill plug. So the drain plug down there is that one. The drain plug is this right here. Okay, this one you drain the fluid from it, and when you want to put the fluid back in, it's tricky. So it's that one back here. That one back here has a similar bolt like the one down there, like that. You take it off and you put your cone in there and you put the float from right here. It's time to put these brackets back on. This goes in the subframe, one on the left, one on the right. Let me just get it was a 10mm, I think. Let's get this here. Okay. I'll show you where it goes. Goes like this. Three screws, 1, 2, 3. So yeah, goes like that. Goes like this. Up here, 3 screws and 1 screw from the bottom. The same on the other side. Other side, it's gonna go up there. Like this. I put the heat shield back. Got a bunch of screws and clips. Heat shield goes like this, just like that. Pretty simple. Just tighten the screws, put the clips back, and it's back on. Okay, time to put the control arm back. All you gotta do is just align it with the holes. Got 3 screws. Put this right there and insert it in the subframe, and that's it. It's very easy. 3 screws, 1 right there, and the other 2 are down here. Okay, same on the other side. Put the control arm back, and then next we're gonna be putting the axles back in. We've got our axles right here. I put the axles back in there. The same thing. It's the same thing, just in reverse order. So we're gonna put all the suspension back, put the tie rod back, the knuckle, the axle, and the axle nut. Same on the other side. Same thing. And the sway bar links too. And don't forget that part. So after you put all the suspension parts back, after you put it all together, you're gonna go ahead reconnect your pinion with the steering wheel from down there. I already did that. Now we're gonna reconnect our shifter cable. Okay, I put the shifter cables back. It's held with 3 screws, 1, 2, 3, and it's nice and tight. And then you connect these things. You just put it over the tower, and then you put the clips on there. It's very easy. Same over here. And then I reconnected the connectors. This is 1, this is 2, and then you gotta put the bracket back on. This bracket. This bracket is the whole. This is the whole thing. One bracket. This is the second bracket. Gotta put that one back. It's 1, 2 screws. And then after this one, we're gonna go ahead and put our ECU back. ECU back, reconnect it, put the battery on, put the battery thing that the batteries sit on. It's right there. Alright, grab this battery plate right here. The battery sits right here, and then reconnected the ECU wires. So how you connect it, it's very simple. I'll show you on the other one. So very good. This is the battery cable. Actually should be right there, and this one should be right here. This is the ECU. Yeah, you put it like that. Make sure this clip is all the way up. There you put it, and then click, nice and tight. Open your fuse box, reconnect this wire, the cable. There's that. And then I think it's time to get the battery in here. Okay, we can put this back. Get your battery. Oh man, this thing is heavy. Put it right here. Connect the battery. Make sure if you have corrosion like this to clean it up before. I'm gonna clean it up later. And then get your positive. Reconnect that thing. And we're almost ready. Now what's left is the airbox, and that's it. I actually want to just go in there while the car is jacked up. I just want to start it and see what's happening. Try to see if everything is working fine. Okay, the airbox is in. You just put it just like that in there, and it sits on a rubber thing down there. This right here. There's like 2 towers, and then you put the rubbers on it and then press it down. And then you reconnect your vacuum hose and tighten this clip. Reconnect the MAF sensor, reconnect those 2 screws, and that's it.